The Welland story really starts back in 1846 when the Krieg family set sail from Germany to settle in South Australia. Once arriving in South Australia, they travelled out to the Barossa Valley, set up home really in the Barossa and went about establishing vineyard and orchard and businesses in the years following that. And when we purchased the vineyard 6 years ago, the block was going to be developed and it was going to have housing upon it. The trellis was sort of rotten, collapsing, so we re-trellised it, we put some irrigation on it. The older vines really started to bounce back, taking cuttings from those older vines. So the younger vines that we have replanted are genetically identical to the older vines. These ancient vines, they've got some incredibly deep root structures, beautiful red clay soil there, which is renowned with producing outstanding Barossa Shiraz. So the fruit that we get off that block, while it's not a lot, there's an incredible amount of colour, amount of intensity, amount of flavour, amount of richness and character in that fruit. These twisted old vines won't be able to handle a machine harvest. So we go through, everything's done by hand pruned, hand picked. It allows you to be very focused in terms of the quality of the fruit coming off of those vines, what you keep, what you throw away. So we do a two-stage harvesting process. This old vine here, this will be picked on a separate day to these younger vines. So we keep all the fruit separate. Those old vines produce some incredible richness, intensity of flavour, character. It really is the heart and the soul of the Welland vineyard. Ultimately, that's reflected in the quality of the wine that comes out the other end. You only need to stand in that vineyard and you need to look around yourself and see that, hang on a moment, here's a vineyard that was planted more than 100 years ago. Our patch of vines is really sort of surrounded by housing, and it's a little oasis of ancient vines that have stood the test of time and are left standing. My favourite is lot 1 because of the amount of love that goes into it, the amount of time, care. I've spent a lot of hours in that vineyard and I'd like to think it comes through in the wine that we've produced. It's something really quite special. There's an incredible amount of intensity of flavour in the wine, of character in the wine, but at the same time it's beautifully balanced. Over the years we've picked up some very good awards for a young producer. Yeah, a number of gold medals in France, China, Hong Kong, New Zealand, which is fantastic. But the core of the business and the focus of the business is still firmly on producing the best Barossa Shiraz and the best Barossa Cabernet Sauvignon that we possibly can.